before we get started. We are officially recording. But yeah, just a shout out, if you are in New York City, we do have practices in New York City, primarily based out of Central Park on Saturdays. Stop by. Usually people say they're nervous to come the first time, and then they say they can't believe they weren't doing this the whole time, and they're kicking themselves by the end of the season. Ashley, do you want to put up the deck, please? Great. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome. Thanks everybody for joining us. My name's Jeremy. I am the director of the Team for Kids program. I've been with New York Roadrunners for just about 9 years now. And just always start every kickoff with a huge thank you. New York Roadrunners simply doesn't have youth and community programs without the Team for Kids fundraising. Your fundraising dollars goes to support all of our youth programs across the country. It supports our open runs here in New York City, our senior striders, all the programs that we do through our youth and community department. We know how much running means to us and what it does to us. It keeps our bodies fit, it keeps our mind calm, it keeps us healthy overall, it keeps us feeling connected to the community. And that, through our youth and community programs, is a gift that we can pass on to kids, to families, to elderly people, to people who need that lifeline for fitness and for connection and for community. So a giant thank you right off the bat for choosing Team for Kids, for participating with us this season, for the fundraising you'll do. And hopefully you will really enjoy the program, you'll enjoy the training, you'll have a great race day. We're really excited to kick off this race this year. An overview of the agenda, we're going to introduce you to some of the other staff. David's going to go over some key dates for you to put into your calendars. We'll talk about the different resources TFK has for you guys. We'll talk about in-person training. You'll get to meet the coaches who are on the line. And again, if you are in New York City, you will get to meet them at some of the practices. Great. So I introduced myself. Again, I'm the director of the program. On the line with us is Ashley Lopez, Lindsay Zube, and David Law. If you guys could hop on and just introduce yourself.
I'm Ashley. I live in Manhattan, a few blocks away from the United Airlines NYC half finish line. I've been working with Team for Kids on and off since 2016. And I love this race, even though I've never run it, but I've been on course, I've been at the finish line, and one of these days I'll be joining you guys.
I'm Lindsay. I am the registration and runner support specialist. So if you've ever emailed us, you've probably heard from me. I've been at Roadrunners about 7 years, and I'm coming up on 1 year with Team for Kids. So very excited. Now that I know some of you, excited to get to know the rest of you. And I think it's gonna be a great season.
Hey, David Law, Team for Kids Operations Coordinator. I've been with TFK for about 3 years. Also do heavy with customer service and emails. I've probably emailed a lot of you guys at some point. Avid runner myself. I'll be at practice occasionally and be here to help throughout the season.
That is our staff here at the office. So then David is now going to do an overview of some of the key dates for you to keep in mind.
All right. So on the screen, you'll see the key dates that are coming up for this season. Looks like one of the bullets is missing. There we go. Don't worry about rushing to write all this down. A copy of the call will be shared with the team, and all these dates will be shared in our weekly emails. But just to give you a high-level overview, this upcoming Saturday will be the first in-person practice. For those in the New York City area, the time and locations will be shared in the weekly emails that was sent out this past Sunday. Next week will be a virtual TFK half marathon virtual clinic. The information and invite will also be sent shortly. Wednesday, February 28th, will be the Team for Kids fundraising deadline. We'll send periodic reminders throughout the season where your fundraising is, and we'll also include fundraising tips and advice in all of our weekly emails. March 12th will be your race registration deadline. All TFK runners will need to register for the event, which is separate from their Team for Kids fundraising. Again, we'll send reminders throughout the season. As of now, a good chunk of the team is already registered. For anyone who hasn't, we'll also be sending reminders periodically. Thursday, March 14th through Saturday, March 16th will be the United Airlines NYC Half Experience. This will be the expo where runners will come pick up their bib, do some last minute shopping, check out a lot of the vendor experiences and products. The exact venue hasn't yet been confirmed, but once they are, they'll be shared with all runners. Once you're registered, those communications will come from both New York Road Runners. We'll also send out reminders from our email, again, with the confirmed dates and hours where the experience will be held. And of course, Sunday, March 17th is race day. You'll have your coaches with you. You'll have staff along the way. We'll have you as ready as we can throughout the season, get you guys in perfect shape.
Just a reminder, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A. TFK staff is more than happy to help. Lindsay.
Okay. So every week on Sunday morning, you guys will receive a weekly email from us. So if you are not receiving them, definitely let us know because these have a ton of great information and they'll really keep you up to date on everything you need to know about not only TFK, but the race, your fundraising, dates, everything. So it's going to have updates and deadline reminders, TFK events, fundraising impact stories, so you can really see where your fundraising is going. And those are also great to share with your donors as well. Virtual strength training videos to go along with your running. In-person practice details, the training tip of the week, fundraising tips, and we have our individual fundraising consultation request form. So if you're struggling at all with your fundraising, definitely feel free to fill that out and we'll reach out and we'll make sure that you're on track to get your fundraising done by the deadline.
I'm just gonna jump in here really quick. I'll just jump in. When we're talking about fundraising, procrastination has never served a TFK runner well. If you're nervous, if you have questions, we're gonna dive into the resources in a minute. Sooner is better than later when it comes to fundraising. 100%, the hardest ask you're gonna make is the first ask, but it's kind of like ripping off a Band-Aid. Once it's off, it's a lot easier. You get more comfortable doing it. So I encourage you, if you haven't already started, to get started. If you're not sure how to start, look in that email, submit a consultation request form. We are here to help you. All four of us are in the office. Well, David's in the office every day, but all of us are online 5 days a week. Feels like 7. Here to support you through this journey.
Another great resource, which I'll talk about in the next slide, but also in the weekly email, there's also a link to our Facebook group. That is only our runners that are fundraising for our team this year and our coaches. And it's a great resource for fundraising tips, like Jeremy mentioned, because there's no better time than the present. And that how you can find it is in the weekly email. And in the next slide.
You want me to talk about it?
Yep, that's all you, Lindsay.
Like Ashley said, we have our Facebook group. It is already up and running. So the more the merrier in that group. Everyone that's running with us for the United Airlines NYC half, we would love to have you join that group. It's not only great for, practical reasons, updates on training, updates on people's fundraising, tips for your fundraising, but it's also just a great way to connect with the team and make friends. And that way, when you show up on race day, even if you're not local to the city, you are going to be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I already know you. So definitely recommend joining the Facebook group.
If you're in the Facebook group, you already know Coach Dorothy, so you'll meet her here on this meeting
True.
in just a few minutes. So that's a perfect example.
Very true. And then another great resource we have for you guys is the NYRR Coaching Lab by Run Coach. So this is a customizable virtual training program. It's an app that you can get. We provide complimentary access to this for all of our runners. So you can download the app and it will adapt with your training. So, it'll tell you what workouts to do. It'll update based on your pace. It's an awesome, awesome resource. So it was sent out in the training resource guide on December 12th. So definitely take a look at that. That'll have the code. It was also in the week 1 email on January 7th. Just make sure that you're using that code, the coupon code that's included there, so that you're not charged for it. So make sure once you get to checkout, you see $0. If you don't see $0, do not proceed. Definitely feel free to reach out via email to us if you're having any questions about using the code, and we'll be happy to help because we want to make sure that you're able to take advantage of the complimentary access as one of your benefits. But definitely recommend that for all levels, anyone that's just doing their first half, people that have done 25 halves. It's great for everybody because it does, adapt to you specifically.
In-person training. We saw in the chat in the beginning that a lot of you were in New York. We are super excited this weekend. We will have our first in-person practice. We will have them every Saturday for the 10 weeks leading up to the United Airlines NYC half. All levels and training paces are welcome. We have super advanced runners and our sexy pace group, which I'm a proud member of, and we have run walkers. These are Saturdays at 8 a.m. Most of the time they meet at Central Park at the USS Main Monument, like the bottom left corner of the park. There is a link that'll bring you to a Google map in the weekly email. The email will also have the confirmed location every single week, so make sure you're checking that. 2 practices will meet at different locations. I will flag that for you in the next slide. There is bag watch available at the NYR or Run Center, so make sure that you get there 15 minutes prior to practice. And if you're going to check a bag at the NYR or Run Center, you're going to have to make sure to enter on 56th Street, which is the back entrance to the NYR or Run Center. Again, links to exactly where these are on Google Maps are included in the weekly email every single week. And if you have any questions about it, please feel free to email us or to chat about it on the Facebook group. So this is our NYC half practice schedule. We are leaving from Central Park, Main Monument, the 13th, the 20th, the 27th, in February, the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th. March 2nd, we will be meeting at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Coach Ben can talk a little bit more about that practice when he comes up for his slide. March 9th, and then March 16th, we're starting in Times Square, and we're doing the last bit of the race. So it's super exciting. There will be bag check at both of those. But again, the best reference for any information about the in-person practices will be the weekly email. And now I'm going to hand the metaphorical mic over to Coach Ben.
Thank you, Ashley. And I love your emails, by the way. They're the best. The emails are the best. You can't, who doesn't want more emails in their life? Let's be honest here, people. If it wasn't an email, what would I wake up in the morning for? Come on, just flood the email inbox every day if you could. But this is awesome. I think Ashley mentioned earlier, this is not a lie. The United Airlines NYC half is also my favorite race that NYR puts on. I love this race. You have to run through Times Square. If anybody knows, the 2 times a year they close down in Times Square, put it in the questions, raise your hand if you know. It's pretty obvious. It is New Year's and this race. So you get to run through Times Square. If I'm not mistaken, anybody at the staff here, is the TFK cheer zone going to be in Times Square? We're doing a TFK cheer zone? Is something going to be there this year?
There will be an official cheer zone, but we will have branded mesh along the course.
Usually there's people out there cheering. The coaches will always be out there, like we said earlier. And speaking of our lovely coaches, I know we have a few of them on the call, so I'm going to call them out to come off mute so they can introduce themselves. I'll just go in the order I see in the chat box. The first coach I see is Coach Rowe. Come on off and introduce yourself. If I just do that for you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Coach Rowe. Great to meet you. I can't wait to see you on Saturday and for the next 10 Saturdays or so. Looking forward to running with you and interacting with you on the Facebook group if you're not in New York. And I'll be out on the course on race day. So see you soon.
Thank you. The next one I see is Coach Rosie. I don't know if she's still in commute. Her hair is just blowing in the wind. She looks so beautiful out there. Rosie, come on off mute. And you're home now.
Yes, I'm home.
There you go.
Hello, runners. Welcome to the TFK family. I can't wait to meet you on Saturday. If you can make this practice or any other practice, don't be shy. We have a pace for you. Don't feel like you have to run a certain pace or that you can or cannot keep up for a certain group. Everybody is welcome. Every pace is welcome.
Say that again, Rosie. Coach Dorothy, where are you?
Hi, guys. I'm Coach Dorothy. This is the race that I have run consecutively since 2015. The year that it was canceled, I did it virtually. So this is absolutely my favorite New York Roadrunners race. I am a run walk specialist. So if you have any questions on run walk as a strategy, please feel free to either reach me on the Facebook page or come up and speak to me in practice. You don't have to run at my pace in order to do it, but I just want everyone to feel comfortable in the group. And
you can also send an email to teamforkids@nyrr.org and we'll pass it along to Dorothy also.
And there will be run walk information in that wonderful, spectacular email that we just cannot get enough of in our life. Look for, I don't think it was in this one this week, but I know Dorothy posted up in the Facebook group with that, but every week moving forward, there will be a cadence for the run and for the walk. But yeah, anybody out there who's into run walk, I mean, this is a very, very viable process. We've had our marathon run walkers last year did phenomenal. So really, if you're into it, this isn't, I mean, I know runners that do 1:30 halves and quicker, and they do run walk. Anybody can do this. There is a method to the madness. It works very efficiently and effectively. Just you have to understand how it works and why it works. So please reach out to us on the Facebook page. Send the emails over, because anybody who, if you have questions on it, don't be shy. This is a team. Ultimately, we want you to be successful in everything that you do, from the fundraising and beyond. So reach out with questions, but we have more coaches here. Natalie, where are you? You out there, Natalie?
Hello, I'm here. Hi, everyone. I am Coach Natalie, and I'm very excited to meet some of you on Saturday and to meet those of you that can't make practice, to meet you through the page. I used to sort of look at Team for Kids from the outside and be like, they seem to go everywhere together. You see them in green all over town, even when it's not practice. And I used to think it was absolutely bananas. And then once you show up at a practice, you understand why. It's like, it's not just make sure that you allow time at practice to also maybe go out for breakfast after, because that does happen a lot. And we do have fun, and we do support each other a lot. So welcome to the Team for Kids family. And I really look forward to helping you on your journey.
Awesome. Yeah, and I mean, runners talk about three things: running, food, and third one maybe doesn't need to be mentioned in this forum, but we all know what that means, folks. That's what we do. We're runners. We're very open to each other. So I mean, who doesn't love a good breakfast after a good run? I mean, come on. I mean, I love that. That's the best part of getting out there and getting to know everybody. Jackie, I see you on the list. Come on up and say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jackie Murphy. I absolutely adore the New York City Half Marathon. I think it's so much fun. I love being a part of TFK. I've been a part of New York Roadrunners in a coaching capacity for a number of years and have worked with our Run for the Future program. And now I'm working with TFK. And it's just such a wonderful way to start my weekend on a Saturday morning. It's good energy. It really sets the tone for the weekend. And like some of the other coaches said, it's just such a supportive and wonderful environment. You'll see people who have run with TFK like for 10 years. And then you'll see people who are absolutely brand new, and everyone is welcome. And I just can't wait to see you out there on Saturday morning. It's probably going to be raining. Think about what you're wearing. And like Jeremy said in the chat, if you guys have questions about anything, whether it's what kind of gear you should wear, how do you hydrate, nutrition, anything at all, make sure that you reach out and ask, because we're here for you. So,
spoiler alert there, Jackie, on the rain. Don't spoil the surprise for everybody. I mean, not everyone knew it was going to rain on Saturday, but I know it's how it goes. But yeah, again, we're always going to run. And that's actually a good segue, is that people always ask, we run in the rain as long as the conditions are safe. In New York, road runners, we have a safety team, and they gave us instruction. Like last night, anybody in the New York, New Jersey area knew that the storm that blew through here was not safe. The winds were very high, so we did not have practices last night for some of our other adult training programs that we have. And so this coming up the weekend, we do have some rain. I'll be reaching out to that team. But again, if we have to cancel for any reason, we will let you know. There'll be a popular email that will go out, I'm sure, in some respects, and we'll make sure we post up in our social media channels as well. But yeah, when it comes to those kind of questions, like if this is your first half marathon, or if your first time you're maybe running at this time of year, some people avoid running in the rain or in the cold. Ask those questions. That's what we're here for. I think Jeremy had made a comment earlier about, the first time you come to practice, it's going to feel a little weird, like kind of the first day of school. It's okay. We're there. I mean, this is a really open, warm group. You get to know people. I think someone said earlier, there's nothing like getting in your long run with a group, with some friends out there. Anybody who's trained for a marathon and knows you got to be on your feet for a few hours, it's always good to have some friends to talk and pass that time. I know that Ashley shared some of our dates on almost all but 2 runs, as she said, we'll be going out of Columbus Circle and the Central Park area. We do have our run on March 2nd, and we'll be going out to Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Why are we going out there? Well, because we love Brooklyn. Well, some of us do. I don't know, maybe some of our Queens residents don't feel the same way about Brooklyn that all of us do, but we love Brooklyn. But more importantly, I'm a big proponent of getting runners on the course. I want you to experience what the Manhattan Bridge will look like, will feel like, will be like on race day. So we will definitely we have a little guy coming and saying hi to us. There we go. But we do want to get you out there on course when we can to get you prepared for what lies ahead on race day. So we'll definitely get you out there. You get to experience part of the course on March 2nd. But obviously, we'll do our last run. We'll start in Times Square. We get a great picture of the group out there. We'll be joining one of our other adult training programs as well. And I think even our virtual training group from Run Coach will be joining us. We'll all end up at the Run Center when we're done for a nice time to have discussion and talks and talk about the race. It's going to be less than 24 hours away when we do that shakeout run. But coaches, am I forgetting anything? If I missed anything that I want to jump off of and
the one
give
thing
some
that I
insight
wanted
to our
to
runners?
say about the with the rain, it's always good to practice because we never know what race day will be.
So true, so true. Yeah, you want to be as prepared as you can. Do I wear a hat? How many layers do I wear? The ball cap. I think any coach I can will agree. The number one thing you want when it rains is you want a ball cap because you want to keep as much water off your face and your glasses as much as you can. So, but yeah, our first practice is this weekend. We'll be meeting over at the Run Center. I think we have a little event happening before we go out on our first run. There'll be a youth ambassador there. So we'll meet inside the Run Center. It'll be nice and warm, and then we'll head on over to Central Park, get our run on for about 50 minutes. Hope to see a few of the faces I see here tonight will hopefully be joining us on Saturday morning, bright and early. But coaches, before I pass the mic back over to our TFK team, any final parting words of encouragement for our lovely group here tonight?
One thing I love is when the out of town people, when we run as a group, we usually take a photo and we post it on Facebook. If the out of town folks, when you do your runs on the weekend, if you could take a selfie and put it on so that you're, we know where you are and you just feel more like part of the family that way.
My son wants to say good luck, runners. Go ahead.
Good luck.
Good luck. One thing that I just wanted to mention is that not every run needs to be a hard run. And so in the beginning of practices, a lot of the times we'll talk about making sure that this is an easy pace and that you shouldn't be pushing yourself to your limit every single time. And so my son has come to many a run with me and came to the expo last year and has all the TFK gear thanks to Jeremy. So thanks, Jeremy. But it's important to note that, like I said, every run doesn't have to be fast. And so make sure that you talk to your coaches if something feels too hard. And if you're in a pace group and feel like it's too difficult, you can always drop back to a pace group. There's coaches throughout the entire run. You won't be alone. So just to say something if you need to drop back.
Yeah, no runner is ever left behind. We've never lost one yet.
Yeah, and
Like-
people get worried about their pace, and I can absolutely guarantee you are not the slowest person I've ever run with. So don't worry about your pace. There's got to be people who can go with you. No pace shocks me, and you definitely are not the slowest person we've ever had at practice. So don't let that be a barrier.
And if you live out of town and you happen to be in New York on a Saturday, feel free to join. You don't have to come every Saturday. You can come once or more times. So you're always welcome. But I want to warn you, it's addictive. So
There's no RSVP, just show up and you're welcome to it. I know that we have the Q&A, and thank you, Michelle, for your question about the St. Patrick's Day affecting the route. And luckily the parade is the day before. But I'm gonna stop sharing right now to see if anyone has any questions. Feel free to raise your hand, because Zoom is great and we can call on you, or if it's super quiet, just feel free to ask your question, or tell us hi.
Yeah, and I'll just hop in just so someone can get their nerve up. I cannot believe I did not spend a solid 5 minutes on this earlier. The only thing you need to know leaving this meeting is if you have a question, email teamforkids@nyrr.org. That is our email. Look at the screen right now. Someone in the top row is going to answer that question for you. It's us. It's not a robot. It's not going to outer space. It just comes to our office, and one of the four of us plus Ben, and if it's a coaching question, we'll send it along, we'll answer it. So teamforkids@nyrr.org. Any question. You are not the slowest runner I've ever met, and you're not, I doubt you're going to shock me with a question. There's no bad question. The only bad question is one that you wait to ask or you never ask, because it just makes you nervous. We have all the answers. We can help you be prepared. You just got to ask.
Leanne is our brave question asker.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Leanne. This is my second the New York City half marathon. I'm very excited. I agree. This is like a wonderful route. This is my first time on Team for Kids, and I so appreciate all of the resources that y'all have given us. It feels like so special. I have a specific question about corporate matching programs. So I work at an employer that has a corporate matching program. What is the best way to get a fundraising corporate matched via like the internal processes? Or what would you recommend to kick off that process?
So what I would recommend is checking with your HR or people ops and see what the process is. Most companies require you to send proof of the donation that we can register it with them. Some require you to make the donation through their platform, but most aren't like that. So you'll basically just need to show that a donation was made. If you're talking about through your company that you made a donation, and then depending on the company, it can take somewhere between 4 weeks is very, very, very fast. It realistically can take upwards of 2.5 months for us to get a matching gift donation. So the earlier, the better. Feel free to, this is a great situation in which you can email teamforkids@nyrr.org. Let us know the name of your company. Chances are we've received a matching gift. Chances are we've looked at where it comes from, maybe it comes from a third-party portal that your company goes through. We have seen this so many times. We are happy to help. We're happy to tell you what information we know about it. But the most important thing is that when you are submitting for it, put your name, or if you're donating to someone else, put your name, or have your donors put your name directly in whatever comments field. That way, when we get the matching gift from the company, we'll see that it goes towards your campaign. If you're not sure if they did it, make sure to let us know what their company name is, how much they donated, and when they submitted for the match, so we can have our finance team take a look on our side. Basically, get in touch with us if you're not seeing it and let us know. We'll look into it. Also, one other important thing to know is that when the company says that they've sent us the gift, it can still take several weeks for us to receive the match and then for us to process it and it to appear in your fundraising campaign. So we just ask that you be patient and keep in touch with us, and we'll be happy to look into it on our end.
Yeah, our
perfect.
staff are nodding our heads so hard they might fall off. Everything she said was perfect. The earlier the better. If you want to try for a match grant, submit it this week. Don't sit on it. Reach out to HR. Every company has their own process. Typically, you make the gift, you submit the proof of the gift to them. They sometimes ask us to approve it. Then they go through their process. So there is some back and forth. We can give you the amount of insight we have from getting gifts from them in the past, but a lot of time the ball is in their court. So the sooner the better to get the process going.
Great question.
I have,
Thank you.
Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, I have an unrelated comment, as I often do. Some homework for everyone. David mentioned earlier, making sure that you are registered for the race on the New York Roadrunners site. This is a step that trips people up sometimes. So you all are already signed up on the TFK site. So tonight, go on nyrr.org, log in, go to your dashboard. Under registered events, you should see this race. You should see accepted. If you don't see this race, or you see something that doesn't say accepted, that means you haven't registered yet. So you should have an invitation code that we sent you that you can use to register. If you have any questions or you don't know what your code is, definitely email us, but that will make sure that you're also getting the email updates from New York Roadrunners, because they don't know that you're registered until you actually register on the site. So a fun little thing for everybody to do tonight or tomorrow, just to make sure that you guys have that step completed.
Hugely important information from Lindsay. That's why she's the best in the business. Yes, Team for Kids has a very confusing two-step registration process. We know, we've been talking to IT about it for years. We're working on it. But you sign up on the Team for Kids website, and that's where you get your fundraising page. Then 7 to 10 business days later, David sends you a code. You'll use that code to complete your registration for the race on NYRR's website. You are, and as she mentioned, you are not registered for the race until that happens. So if you don't do that and you show up to Expo and you come up to me and looking for a bib, I will not have a bib to give you. So hugely important. If you're not sure, just email us again, teamforkids@nyrr.org. I also just wanted to take a second to highlight some of your race day perks. One of the coolest parts about Team for Kids is we are a part of New York Roadrunners. So you guys get perks that other people don't get. If you have run this race before, you may know that it can be very cold in the morning in March. The most amazing perk Team for Kids has in the race morning is a warm spot for you to wait for your race with indoor plumbing and hospitality. A lot of people, surprisingly, maybe they just don't get there early enough to come. Last year we were in a school, we're still finalizing our location for this year. Sometimes they just don't get there early enough to come. If you are there early and if you are cold, don't stand outside. You are a VIP at this race. We have a very, a comically hot indoor space for you guys to stay warm, to warm up. You'll be with the team. We'll have coffee, bagels, bananas, plumbing, all the stuff you could want race morning. You'll do a warm up with the coaches and they'll walk you to their corrals. Or to your corral once it's ready to go. We also have buses that leave from somewhere around Central Park South. Again, we're just kicking off a lot of the logistics, so we'll have a lot of very specific details coming in the weekly emails, and also about a week and a half out prior to the race, we're going to send you a very big document of all of the Team for Kids specific race week, race day logistics that'll have very detailed instructions on who, what, when, why, and how you're going to go there, where you're going to go, what you're going to do. All of the details will be coming as we have them. If I have information, I am giving it to you immediately. We just want you to be as informed and just have an expectation of what it's going to be like on race day, so you don't have to worry about it. So take the time to read the resources, ask questions to the coaches, ask questions to runners who've been there before, ask questions on the Facebook group. I find the more I know what to anticipate, the calmer I am about the things I can control. any more questions. Again, Ashley is recording, so we will be sharing the recording out if you want to rewatch or for a friend who maybe didn't make it tonight. Jennifer, I love that you're floating in outer space. I can't. I love it so much.
I love that Mindy is just like there with the Northern Lights.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of like celestial. Catherine's also in outer space. We got to rethink our Zoom game.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, I mean, if there aren't any other questions, you all know that you can actually reach us at any time by emailing teamforkids@nyrr.org. So we're going to wrap it up tonight. Thank you so much for joining tonight. Thank you so much for joining Period. We can't wait to meet some of you this weekend, but all of you come March. So have a good night, everybody, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.